Welcome back to the Tribute Games podcast. The Tribute Games podcast is a podcast that tells you how the sausage is made in independent video games in Montreal. We are almost all of Tribute Games. You are listening to Yannick Belzil, who I am a community manager and a writer for Tribute Games, and at my left,
I forgot how to do this. I'm Dom2D. I'm a game designer.
Justin Sear, animation and game design.
and next to me is
Stéphane, artiste.
that's right.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
How you doing, Steph?
Good.
Yeah. How you doing, Justin?
I've got summer allergies.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so if there's sniffles, you know what? We don't say the real truth about climatic heating up of the planet. It makes the allergy season go even longer. So if you hearing that, that's what it is. Guys, we are here today because it's been a bit more than a week that Curses and Chaos has been out.
Woo!
It's our new game. You are probably aware of it if you are listening to this. If you've been listening to this, if you're not, it's a single screen arcade smasher. It's really fun. It's on PS4, Vita, and Steam.
I hear it's pretty good.
It's pretty good once you figure out those controls, and it's so hard, but it's so good. And
All those hidden moves.
Yeah, like I hear there's a double jump.
Double jump.
Legend Tales of a double jump, yeah.
Uppercut.
Uppercut.
yeah.
There's a run.
There's a run.
Hold one of the shoulders.
Can you punch as you run?
Yeah.
Is it stronger than a normal
Makes
punch?
more damage.
Nice.
Yes.
It's really funny though, because it's our new game, but I've been off of it for so long now that it feels like it's a really old thing.
Yeah.
But it just came out.
It just came out, but for us, it's in the past. It's so far back, but we still love it. I thought we could talk about just having released the game and the reception and how we feel about it and stuff like that. And first, I would ask Justin, because it is partly your child.
Yes.
Your pixelated child, and I was wondering how you feel about it now that it's out into the world. It's on it. You've put it on the bus and it's going to its first day of school.
Exactly.
And Mario Maker is bullying it in class.
Yeah. He's already calling back home with stories of first days of school.
Yeah.
No, it's
It wasn't the right bus, and it never got to school.
someone stole its lunch money. No, I mean, it's still a good feeling to have finished something. Overall, that still trumps all, is just the satisfaction of having finished something. It's still pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I think the distance is always still a bit weird. Like, again, you mentioned it's been so long that, most of us have even really done anything concrete in the game.
Yeah.
So it feels weird to have been off it for so long.
Can you explain why there's such a delay to people that are not?
Well, there's definitely the submission process. Like, that's always a sort of a kicker. And I think also is that you tend to ramp down as the production ends too. Like, you work like crazy, but then at the end you're just tying up loose ends, and it doesn't really feel like a lot of work. You're just like, just doing a lot of small things. So, yeah, that I think in part explains why there's such a long distance. And then even when you go in the process of submission, they have to find you like a release date window.
Yeah.
And Shane Bethenhausen, shout out to Shane, he was really good in finding one for us. But even on the day that we released, I think there was Adventures of Pip and Volume.
Yeah.
Which were, some pretty...
It's a big competition.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The day after was the beta for Call of Duty. Something.
Exactly. So like even in finding like a good window, it's still flooded, and I think that goes hand in hand with part of the reception of the game is you're just in a very, 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 very crowded market right now.
Yeah.
That's something we can say about, or that's been around the office, and as we were having sushi yesterday, we were talking about, the game doesn't seem to have that much, the reviews are not pouring out, and partly that's because the game is not out in all the territories, and because of the submission, we could not get codes earlier, so we can't send the early codes to reviewers in the media and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it's symptomatic of something way bigger in the media. Like, they don't have time to cover the smaller games, and Curses and Chaos is like a small $10 game, and it's really worth the $10, but they're so busy covering like the big Metal Gear Solids and the other, even the $20 games get more coverage than a $10 game these days. It's kind of, I don't know, it's weird.
The few reviews we're getting, though, are pretty good.
Yeah, we're getting, what was the best one you got? 8.5?
8.5.
No, it's really good.
A few 8 point something.
Destructoid was?
I feel it's all between 8.5 and 7 so far, most of them. So that's really encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think, and it's odd too, because we're really, I think even just one review away from getting our Metacritic score.
Yeah.
And if we get anything that's above like a 7, it's got an 8 average,
Yeah.
which would actually make it maybe our best reviewed game.
Yeah, so I think it's not about the quality of the game, right? It's about the size of the game.
Yeah. And I mean, it did have, you know, quite the journey. I mean, it had been in production for, you know, longer than we expected, which is something else that goes with
It would have been Tribute's second game.
It would have been. It actually was scheduled to be. And, you know, that was always meant to be a smaller game. And all the stuff we've talked about in previous podcasts, having just, you know, padded a smaller game, you know, helped contribute to all these reasons why it maybe didn't get as much traction as we had hoped.
Yeah, because it's been to two PAX's East.
Right, exactly.
PAX is Eastus?
PAX's Easties. So maybe the fact that it was there twice, maybe that much surprise or attraction even then.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice the second time because it was such an overhaul for the graphics, and that did get some buzz. But I think having put such still a smaller package on such a high pedestal might have even created some confusion for people, where they're like, wow, this is, you know, really cool. But, you know, even for us, I think having literally hauled those big ass arcades, we all got that feeling of like, man, this is a lot of work for this. So, but I mean, no regrets with that either.
In our defense, we kind of did that game with only 4 people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also true.
It's the smallest
production
game-ending credits I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
super
good
short,
point.
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it really served its purpose for what it was. It was a small game that was meant to sort of like fill the gap in between.
Yeah.
And it is getting good reviews and stuff. But I think in just this crowded market, like someone else brought up this fact just in Montreal alone, talking about, you know, a Montreal-centric podcast. When we started some 4 years ago, there was something like 30 game companies in Montreal, and that includes like small.
Indies or
I think all things considered,
Yeah.
like, you know, there's like the big ones like IDOS and
UB something?
UB something or other, EA. Yeah, we do have our big ones, but even like the smaller ones, and it's not to say they're less important. I mean, you know, some really good mobile games come from like small man, 2-man parties, but 30 from 4 years ago. Fast forward 4 years now, we're like 130. No, excuse me, it was 40 before and 130 now, so it's more than tripled in 4 years, and that's just in Montreal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, I mean, and other things that contribute is like, you look at Steam. To compare two similar games, Wizard being a smaller game, our first game, it had the advantage of having been on like the Steam front page, which boosts your sales like through the roof.
Yeah. For like almost a week.
Almost a week, yeah.
Wow.
Even if you're on just for a few hours of a day, like now that's like a blessing.
Yeah, and now with Curses, we were like a blip on the front page
Yeah.
for like a couple minutes, and then it just shut down.
Right. I mean, there's just that much more stuff, and that's partly due to the fact that like they've really let the floodgates open with Steam. Like when we first got it onto Steam, we really had to fight for that.
Yeah.
And even other companies still have to fight, but it's not as much of a struggle. There's just massive volume of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Mercenary Kings came out. I remember the day it came out on Steam, and sitting down at the beginning of the day, JF and I just looking at it, at showcased on the front page of Steam, and we like opened a beer early in the morning. We're like, yeah, this is great. This is a moment. This is selling a game. Now we will have time to drink a shooter as it shows up on the page, and it immediately disappears.
Yeah.
We also had problems on PS4.
Yeah.
Like Steam,
Download problems?
we didn't almost have any visibility on Steam because of the amount of games that get released, but on PS4 there were also problems, like visibility problems. The game wasn't, you couldn't find it in the just searching for it. It was really complicated. So
Yeah, and
it
if
was kind of a,
and if you don't get a good first run, it kind of kills it because it pushes it down, and
so a pretty wobbly release.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not giving up hope on bigger sales because there still might be more coverage. Like I think the news outlets are like pretty busy on other games, and they're pretty slow these days. They don't like release a video the day of release.
Yeah.
Like I just saw on Polygon a video about on IGN a video about I Am Bread, which came out like 3 months ago, and
And IGN loves covering bread.
Yeah, of course. But they also did a video when the game came out of Curses, which was a short video of like them just taking the game and opening up on a video. But that's not super great coverage. Like I'm hoping for a full quick look from Giant Bomb or an overview from Polygon. These will bring people in, I think.
Yeah, and I think even JF mentioned at some point it's likely to show up in a bundle, which is a bunch of guaranteed
or just sales.
And here's something else to put it into perspective. Like, even though, again, Wizorb, a similar product, also had sort of kind of a rocky go. When I'd asked John about like sales without giving out any figures, it still brought in like a monthly revenue, even like 3-4 years later. Mm-hmm. So these things do have a long tail. Like, I've read a lot of people saying like, I'll just wait till it's on sale. And then they'll pick it up. So,
it's not on a physical shelf where it'll disappear eventually. So now it's not even really on an electronic shelf because it's not on pages, but it still exists and you can still get it. So
and I think
so. Get it.
I think it's all safe to say that we're not worried about the game. It means it's going to do well and it's going to do okay and it's going to pay for itself for sure. So it should be fine. But go buy the game.
Yeah, totally.
All of you.
Just to be sure.
just make sure, or buy it on another format, please.
And talk about it.
Talk about it. Tell your friends.
Tell your friend how hard it is.
But how good you got and master the controls.
Tell them there's a double jump in the game.
That'll put you on the right track for sure.
How do you feel about that? People saying that the game is hard. Like, is it a badge of pride, or are you like, it's not that hard? Come on, or how do you feel about that criticism?
I actually kind of. In a sort of, I don't even know what you'd say, sinister way, I kind of revel in it because it was always meant to be hard. I don't like seeing people suffer through it, but I think when you read comments where people are like, this game is, driving me crazy, but I'm not giving up. That's always kind of the feeling that was meant to be. Like, it was always meant to be a hard game because it was a short game. Mm-hmm. So I like seeing that sort of frustration, that same Demon Souls, Dark Souls of this is crazy. I just want to keep playing. That's always the intention. But I think when people have that, no, this sucks. And it's like,
Yeah. I think it might hit too soon in the game because some people get stuck in the second level a whole lot.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's pretty cool that people are struggling and having a challenge with the game.
And at the second level, you're almost close to halfway too. So it's like, it really is only a 2-hour affair at
second level. You're not halfway. Well, the last levels are pretty tough.
Yeah. I mean, there's 5, oh, you mean like the second forest level?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does kind of ramp up soon. But, don't give up, people. It's doable. I've seen some pretty good, playthroughs too, so.
Yeah. But we've been seeing a lot of streams and,
that's maybe
videos.
An interesting point to make. Like, at first, there were supposed to be it was considered only 5 levels.
Yeah.
But each levels would have 2 different environments. And then there would be like a mid-boss after the first environment, and then final boss of that level in the second environment. And that kind of faded away with time, and it became just like 10 levels on their own. It still kind of shows a bit in the difficulty, maybe, of the level.
The first peak is at the end of the second level.
Yeah, every 2 level you get like an easier boss, and then the one after is a bit harder.
Yeah. I think the weird thing too is like, in this day, most people expect more even after a game's released. So it kind of goes with that. And I've heard this mentioned before, where like games start to become more of a service than a product. Like the day of like having this, self-contained thing that you can just put out in the world, and you can have that too.
Yeah, I don't think it's mandatory. I think it's just 2 ways of developing games these days.
Yeah,
but I think it's valid to just release one solid game by itself.
Yeah, I that's the thing. I still haven't given up on that idea. I still like that personally. I like things that have a beginning, middle, and end. But you do see people that kind of like expect more, and it's kind of like, really, that's too bad. But I share the sentiment. I really think that there's still a place for like even like a single player experience, like a self-contained thing.
Yeah.
Because again, that's all stuff we grew up on. It's proven itself, and I think there's still something for it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like a trend kind of thing, like with the early access and Kickstarter and. It's It's like if we get that, we'll give you this.
I guess if the game became like extremely popular, we would have been motivated to add more levels and maybe at some point. But even then, why not just make another game or a sequel or?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and there was consideration for having DLC and stuff too, but then it's just like, you gotta finish this. Like, that's the weird feeling too, is like, you always kind of want to now maybe like and we have, like this week, we spent time, doing small patches and stuff, but even after you've finished, you kind of look at it again, you're like, I could just change this and just change this, and you're just like, oh my god, it never really has that full feeling of closure, but
yeah, you could, if you wanted to, it could never end.
Yeah, and
I mean, so many dance moves that we can add to the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, that would be one thing I'd put in more of, dance moves. And then if it really goes to make on a lot of money eventually, I think it would be really fun to have a Mercenary King theme level.
Yeah, Mandragora Island.
Yeah, exactly. With the natives, exactly, and the capybaras.
Oddly, most of the characters fit with all of the existing patterns, like the floating boar heads could be like the skulls and stuff. It's totally doable. I've already said it to JF too. If the game ever hits this ridiculous amount in sales, like we'll make the sequel. So you heard it here first, folks. A sequel's in the works. Yeah,
depending on success, though. So
we did
our part.
Yeah, it might take a couple of years.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about seeing people? We've been like this week on a couple of streams, seeing people on Twitch and stuff like that playing the game and experimenting with it and seeing let's plays and stuff like that. So
well, the most like the first thing that was hitting us was, oh, people don't know how to play this. Like there's only like 6 moves in the game, and they were missing half of them.
Yeah.
So,
but you're putting all this information in a patch, right?
Yeah, right. How to play a segment.
That should help people.
Yeah, sure. But it was just fun because we were jumping on chats and
there's a double jump.
There's a double jump. There's an uppercut. You can, because it's funny because we've mostly been demoing and showing the game live.
Yeah.
And with the big arcades machines that Justin was talking about earlier at PAX, we had all those graphics on the machines that explained how to play, and we were there to tell people. So it feels like it kind of we just forgot about it. Like we're so used to explaining it to people that
there's a double jump, there's an uppercut, you can run.
To actually put it somewhere in the game.
Yeah.
In all fairness, too, there is the manual, and I think a lot of it was intentionally left out because I think one of the feelings making the game was like, so much of this seems like second nature. Like, do you really have to explain a lot of this stuff?
What's the first thing you test if there's a double jump?
Right.
It's surprising to me that people really got into the alchemy part of the game, but they don't know that there's an uppercut because it's attack and up.
Yeah.
And it's shocking to me.
Yeah, and I mean...
But again, that shows that you don't know how people will take in something.
Right, and I mean, some of it too was, again, it's all pretty deliberate, but like I can think back to any time like I've discovered something in a game, I've always had the reaction of being kind of happy that I've found out something. And so to see people have the opposite reaction, it's like...
I think it's just 2 different kind of people. Like, we're never going to go into the how to play section, but these people might need a how to play section.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It really kind of opens up the fact that, like, it's hard because you might make your game for a certain type of people, but then the other type of people will maybe be completely turned off.
We had a great stream with the dude called Awesome Nick 94.
Yep.
I think
his name is well, no, I won't say his real name because
no,
Nick is part of his real name.
He lives that.
Really? Yeah. No, but yeah, it was great because he was really into 100% playing the game. Is that a way to say it?
Yeah.
And we just, like, the whole company jumped into the chat and started yelling at him and really distracting him.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. But we also kind of told him the secrets in the game because there are some secret levels to unlock and a real ending to unlock at some point. And it was...
we actually helped him with the evil ending.
Mm.
Yeah. But it's the long way ending, right?
Well, it's the longest to achieve, but it's the farthest from reality.
Oh,
some would prefer that ending too.
Yeah,
no, it was awesome.
It's a nice twist on the whole story. He was really good.
But I mean, we jumped in the chat and we helped him out with because it's kind of convoluted to reach that point, right? But I saw some people getting 100% on Twitter and in trophies and all that without our help. And there's no FAQs or anything on the web. I have no idea how they did it.
Champions.
Maybe Reddit.
Oh, maybe someone on
from the
Reddit.
future.
Oh, maybe it's you from the future.
Maybe it's just us in secret playing. Like, we can be done.
Yeah, no, I can assure you I won't 100% of that game.
We did pretty good on stream. We streamed the game when the game released.
I mean, I played it for myself at home this week, and Jesus fucking.
Oh, by yourself. Yeah. It's fascinating that this Nick guy was just owning the game by himself.
By himself, he was really agile. He pulled off some amazing jump kick moves.
Yeah,
I noticed that he didn't use the uppercut.
Yeah,
Not once.
Not once.
so maybe he doesn't know about it.
So I'm pretty sure maybe by now he knows about it, but
it's a move that you can't move while you're doing it, and he was really mobile around the screen.
Oh, yeah, he was a ninja.
Because he was basically jumping, kicking, and then double jumping.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was just jumping around, flying around the screen the whole time.
I've seen. We saw it with our tester too. Shout out to Olivier Bourque.
You and your shoutouts.
He would if you kick right as you leave the ground, for the time that you're in the air, you can do another kick.
Yeah.
So it's some people really master the amount of kicks that you can do.
I think you can
Maybe pull off a third.
3 for sure.
Oh, yeah,
I've done it plenty, but I think you might be able to squeeze 4.
Quad?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Quad kick.
Yeah.
But that you have to be really.
Some Jackie Chan level
Yeah.
shit.
But 3 is really feasible.
Stefan, you had something you had to share with us, great tweets about the games, or because we had some great tweets about the game. A fan of
Our biggest fan.
one of our biggest fans. So
Yeah.
can you read?
He went all out of his way to make sure to attend all the stream of Curses and Chaos and comment on them.
Everything we tweet, he's there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played all our games because he was referencing them.
Yeah, he knew the cross references from Wizorb to Curses.
Yeah, well, he had them wrong a bit, but still. The best tweet, I think, for myself was Curses and Chaos upon you at Tribute Games, and then within parentheses, 3 butt on games.
On games.
For making such painful games as Mercenary Wimps and Wizmorb.
So we congratulate that guy for his writing job at Mad Magazine. It's wonderful.
Hey, he keeps hoping we make a game that's easy enough for him. Maybe someday.
Maybe.
Well, if I can get through a couple of levels of Curse and Chaos, everyone can, because I'm terrible. So
I like though that he had this weird theory about
Cyrus
is
becoming the evil
Wizard King.
evil Wizard King from Curses and Chaos.
and he's so
'Cause-
close.
Yeah,
but he's
pretty close, but
It's much simpler than that.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, if he had bothered reading the comic, he'd know.
Because in the comic, we revealed that Cyrus is Alison's father, right?
Or a friendly alchemist
yes.
from Curses and Chaos.
Yes, but so now, Don,
What?
we're all making another game right now.
Right.
And
Codename Space Pirates.
Codename Space Pirates. Now that you've seen a game come out and how it happened with the publicity and the reception, and is that on your mind right now as you make the game? Do you think about stuff to maybe not exactly changing how the game is made?
No, I'll never sleep again.
Yeah.
But
I know what that's like.
It's
Yes.
only micro naps from now on.
no, yeah. If I'm lucky, yeah. I mean, it puts a lot of stuff on my mind, of course, especially on the marketing side, but also on what the game can do to attract more people to it. Maybe have a spin or have a thing that might attract the streamers and the YouTubers and the people on Twitch or YouTube gaming or whatever to maybe have a kind of a longer coverage too, because some people might just release an article saying that Curses and Chaos is out, but then they don't have anything else to say. Actually, Destructoid had a really nice thing to say about Curses, where they said that the dance move was pretty cool. Yes, I'm thinking a lot about how to attract more people to it. I think that's also kind of why I was hired here, because I'm more aware of what's going on in the indie games more than retro games. Mm-hmm. Maybe I can bring some stuff like Spelunky's Daily Run or other features like that are more long tail and more interesting for videos and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, marketing, we need to figure out a way to
Engage.
make better trailers, make better banners, and get more cross promotion and all that bullshit. But we can figure it out.
Yeah. You had a couple of questions for us.
Right.
Like a lightning round.
Lightning round questions.
As we leave this the main subject.
Are you going to
Was
insert
that
a lightning
Tucker?
effect?
Maybe.
All right.
I think Steph's was
That was
pretty
it.
good.
That was it.
All right. What's the best game you were playing from last year you forgot to finish? From Jeremy Lamont.
La Mulana. I'm going to get back on that horse.
You'll never finish it. It's so hard. It's impossible.
Yeah, I don't know. I usually finish my games.
Yeah, you're pretty insane in that. You even like 100% all the games, even
No,
the
no,
secret
no.
stuff. And come on, you finish like Escape Goat like in all the possible ways that you could finish it. And
Yeah, some of them.
yeah, okay. The-
I go far enough into the completion, but I'm not crazy.
okay.
I barely play any games. That's a problem. I still haven't finished Shovel Knight, but I'm.
Have you finished Zelda on 3DS?
Of course I did.
Okay,
Of course I
so
did.
you're good.
Yes.
You finished the one game you played in 2014.
Yeah. No, I played some Shovel Knight as well. No, was it? No, it was in 2015.
No, it was
oh, okay. So no, you were right. You were right.
So you 100% all your games.
In 2014, I did.
I know.
What?
Chariot.
Chariot, I'll never finish that game. It's really good, but it's so long
Well, I
and
started
hard.
playing it with my girlfriend, but then she kind of got pissed at me because I really wanted to grab all those gems. And
grab
she-
the optional stuff?
Yeah, she didn't care for it, so we just
Yeah.
stopped playing.
I think that's why we stopped playing, me and my friend also, because we were
If I find
just
someone
hoping
who
to
likes
get
it,
everything. We should,
gonna
I think we just discovered something.
Yeah, you want my phone?
Yeah.
You know where I live?
Mine would be Alien Isolation, because my brain doesn't want me to keep playing that game.
Yeah, I bought it, but I think I'll wait to play it because my computer is too shit.
All right. But it's really good. It's just, my brain doesn't want me to be scared shitless. so I never think about playing it.
It's probably what will happen to me.
Yeah.
I could never finish any Resident Evil because of that. So
All right. What books or artists inspired Christmas and Chaos environments?
I think that's solely Steph.
yeah,
What was-
I don't know if there was anything like directly influencing me, but sure there was a lot of stuff
Right.
I was looking at and things like that. But I don't know.
Someone was telling you that the boss room was inspired by Akira, but you said it wasn't? Because the boss is kind of sitting on a
Yeah, he
throne
was
and
just
he's
talking about the evil king because he kind of looks
jaded on his throne and
and he's dressed with red.
Yeah.
and so it might
Well,
look something similar.
As you get to the castle, there's sort of there's an Iron Maidenish thing hanging around. To me, that's really Mignola-esque.
Yeah, that's Hellboy.
That's
Yeah.
very Hellboy, which is in your art, anyways.
Yeah, that's a life inspiration.
Yes.
Wasn't solely for Churches and Chaos.
How about this? Do you have a favorite background? We can go across the board with that one.
Yeah. Strangely enough, I think the first one is still
it's really, really good.
within my favorites. Like after seeing all of them plenty.
I think the fact that the boss comes out of the lamp is especially genius, because it's there the whole time, it's just waving
Like a
around.
genius itself.
That's
it's a genie.
that's
It's a
yeah,
genie,
that's
yeah.
a
Sorry.
French joke.
Yes.
For all you French people listening.
Sorry, Anglophones. I let you down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that was there was something like that in pretty much every level.
Right.
Like the bus tend to come out from stuff that were there the whole time. There are some environments that I would have liked to have the buses in the backgrounds, but we had to skip that.
I get pissed at the Chimera all the time because I forget that it just pops out and just hits you right away.
Barges
It's
out
like,
of
all right.
It's a good intro. It's like, and then I really like the city and market one.
Yeah.
I think you made a really cool city that feels, how do you say that? Like on the border of the sea. There's a word for that.
Like a port town?
Like you like a port town, but you don't see much around, like a couple houses, but it really feels like a port town.
I really like the Gravefield, the cemetery, because I feel that a cemetery background, there's a lot of rich elements that you could put in there, but it could also be super cluttered and be too full of. There's a crazy angel statue. There's a whole bunch of tombstones and blah blah blah. But I feel like there's just a lot of different stuff, and the way it's colored, it just makes it in 3D, and it makes it readable. It pops, and it's not your usual spooky cemetery colors.
Right. You know,
it would seem they are my usual cemetery colors because my girlfriend made me notice. It's almost the same palette as the cemetery in the Scott Pilgrim game, which I also did.
Nice.
But it wasn't a voluntary thing.
Right.
It just happened.
Maybe you just have cemetery colors.
Yeah, I think so.
Filmmakers have motifs.
Yeah.
Your
I have my
palettes.
cemetery palette. Yeah, possible.
I especially love the names of the levels that Yannick came up with.
Thank you very much.
Like, I mean, Grimmelcore is just a fantastic
It's pretty
name.
good.
Yeah.
It's really too bad that some of them had to be chopped down or really simplified.
Oh, and in
because
number
the-
of letters?
Yeah, just the amount of letters that were available. Because you had some pretty nice thing going
Yeah,
on.
because the first level is meant to be Forest of the Lost Souls, or something. I had something with lamp. It was too long, but there was either lamp or lantern in it.
What's your favorite level title?
That's
I'm-
not in the game.
That's not in the game. I don't remember.
That's
the
in the
ones that
game.
are not in the game. I was pretty happy with myself with Gravefield and Hope's End.
Nice. And what's the name of the enemy you just named in Space Pirate that I love?
The worm?
There's a worm character, a flying worm character in Space Pirate, and I called him. One of the names I suggested for him is Werner Wormzog.
That's amazing. Anyway, I'm glad we have Yannick on the team. All right. Does Tribute want to make board games? No, they don't make any money. Favorite unpopular games console?
I would love to draw for board games, though.
Of course, but it's a mess. Like there's
but
so much distribution, physical copy
I know,
stuff,
I know.
but yeah.
Maybe we can make one for the virtual tabletop.
Oh, we should do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Favorite unpopular games console? Unpopular.
Unpopular games
I like
console.
my Neo Geo Pocket.
Why?
I mean, the fighting games on that are just
But the simplicity of the sprites is where you live.
Yeah.
That's your jam.
exactly that. I mean, if I could make a Neo Geo Pocket game, I would. The sprites are just perfect. The screen size, the resolution, and everything else that goes with it, the color limitations, and yet, like some of the fighting games, the Capcom vs. Street Fighter is maybe one of my favorite fighting games of all time. It's amazing. Yeah, Neo Geo Pocket for me.
That's pretty much what you were
Aiming
aiming for
Yeah.
with Curses and Chaos until
Yeah.
I barged in and
Well, you
And just put in all the colors.
poured all those shitty colors over all over
you
it.
kept it to 16 per background. That's a feat in itself. No, it's close, very, very close to Neo Geo Pocket.
Is the Dreamcast an unpopular games console? Because it didn't sell, but then it became like
It's a cult.
cult
Yeah.
thing.
I'd count it.
I would go with the Dreamcast. There's so many like good 4-player games and
you have
and
this
Soul
weird
Calibur,
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi?
Tamagotchi. Yeah.
Anamanaguchi.
Tamagotchi in it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, that was great.
VMU.
The VMU, I didn't care much for, except in the tennis game where you can see the ball
Yeah.
bouncing it. But yeah,
Virtual
Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I would really love to try it again. Like I remember just seeing one in a demo.
Yeah.
At my local video store, and that's the only time I've tried anything on it.
I did that at Club Price. But I think we should do a Virtual Boy emulator on Oculus Rift when it comes out.
Yeah, really put the power of that machine.
Yeah.
to use.
What about you, Nick?
Was the Sega CD unpopular?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that was a richest kid in the neighborhood system.
Ah.
That and the 32X. Yeah, I remember. I just have good memories, but I have not played those games in years of those dumb full
VMU?
motion video games.
Or,
All right.
FMV games.
FMV, yeah.
Yeah. Sewer Shark. That creepy game where you're seeing ladies in their underwear in a house.
Featuring the late
Oh,
Dana
Night
Plato.
Night Intruder, like something.
Night Trap.
Night Trap.
Yeah.
What a great name.
Yeah.
Should have gotten Johan on this segment.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
He's
another time.
Yeah. Johan knows all the crappy systems.
He's got them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's something counterproductive video game wise as
Yep.
full motion video, but yeah, the fact that it existed and that people really tried for it. Like I remember there were those create your own videos.
Oh, CNC Music Factory.
yeah, but there was one with Garth Brooks.
There was one with Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yes, with Marky Mark. So the fact that those games exist, like what will unshackle your imagination and your creativity? Playing Mario Paint or doing a Marky Mark video on the Sega CD? Terrible. But the fact that it exists, it's
beautiful.
The admirable but dumb ways that video games try to branch out in the 90s sometimes are, I think they're beautiful.
And wasn't like the video already like cropped down to like a very small?
Oh, the resolution of the
It must
videos
have
was
been.
just
It
horrible.
was like a terrible, like, real player, or like, circa.
Even in Myst, it was like a still image and a video that was like 100 pixels by 60 pixels
Really noisy.
of a thing that moves. It was like, oh my god, it's video.
Seeing real people, it's amazing! Yes.
Moving on.
Well, I think we'll move on to the end as much fun as we're having, because
Aww.
well,
But what's next after Curses and Chaos?
what's that? Well, Space Pirate is what is next after Curses and Chaos. But I think we'll end this episode for now, and we'll come back pretty soon. So, guys, where can we find your work or yourself on the internet this week?
Dom2D on everything. Twitter, Tumblr, whatever. Oh, and check out Terminus on itch.io. There's a little game called Terminus that we did during the Game Jam. It's based on the movie Speed, which I don't think a lot of people have seen, so we really wanted to push its popularity with a game based on that. It's with small actors called Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock.
The late great Dennis Hopper.
And yeah.
We'll make an episode about the Game Jam soon.
Okay.
And Justin, where can we find you on the internet?
Always Justin_Sear.
And
That's it.
That's it. Well,
That's it.
JGS Boutin.
Oh, but I forgot. Right before we end, Justin, you have something to say. You might not be as much on the podcast in the future.
well,
Why
yeah,
is that?
I'm bowing out.
You're bowing out.
Bye.
Yeah, well, maybe for some people who would be interested, you are entering back into the wonderful world of freelance. You're living
Indeed I am.
tribute.
Yes.
Yes.
Of my own volition, I'm leaving, and I'm gonna re-enter that world.
You finished a great project called Curses and Chaos, which people might find on Steam and PS4 and Vita.
Yes.
And now you're moving on to other pastures.
You pushed your child on the bus, and now you will leave.
To another city.
Shit.
I set up that bus stuff just for that at the end. But you will be missed in the office, but you're not going in another town, so we'll see you again.
And we might work together again.
Oh, totally.
And I think we'll have you on the podcast again, because now you will be our correspondent into the exciting world of freelance.
Yeah.
I think that talking about how it is to work as a freelance artist in video games could be interesting to our listeners at home. So we will have you back on to talk about that.
If anything concrétise, how do you even say that
If
in
anything
English?
forms or happens.
Yeah. You'll be the first to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also, but just again, how can we reach you on the internet?
Oh yeah, it's Justin_Sear.
Yeah,
on
so seek him out if you want to hire him to do a pixel art and stuff. Because you're going back in not as a because you did a lot of stuff on Curses and Chaos. You did sound, you did game design, all that stuff. But you are going back in mostly as an artist.
Yeah, animation is my jam. So
Yeah.
Right,
So
nice.
hire
So-
him to animate stuff.
I'd like Justin to say the last sauce of this episode as
Yes.
a goodbye to the
Yes.
to the world of tribute.
oh, maybe that.
Oh yeah, okay. But yeah, we'll let you pick your own sign off.
Yes, but before we end, you can follow me at Enigmazel. You can
Alright.
follow the company at Tribute Games, tributegames.com. You can buy Curses and Chaos on a multitude of platforms.
$10.
$10 on PS4, PS Vita, Steam
Cross-buy?
PC.
Cross-buy.
It's cross-buy.
Cross-buy.
It's on Steam and PC. It is not out yet in the European markets, but that will change soon. We will announce dates soon as we have them.
Yeah.
That in mind, I'm leaving the sign-off word to Justin. Right
Let's
here.
all give a hearty hamburger.
Hamburger!